So let's talk about. We just had the Google I/O that just dawned on us on the 11th through the 12th. Let's talk a little bit about what happened. Anyone recollects what happened?
A lot of
I
AI stuff.
So let's talk about. We just had the Google I/O that just dawned on us on the 11th through the 12th. Let's talk a little bit about what happened. Anyone recollects what happened? There were a lot of things that were talked about. Actually, I jotted down 25 items. Unfortunately, I didn't have it with me as I'm sitting here, but I had jotted down 25 items that were spoken about during the Google I/O. But here are some of the things that kind of excites me about the Google I/O. First, though, I think on top of my list would be the Google Pixel Watch. I'm really, really looking forward to that, which would be coming sometime in the fall. My guess is that it's going to be announced alongside with the Pixel 7 series.
You want my experience and advice with those?
Lay it on me, man.
Look, always, for us blind people, we better skip on the first or the second release of brand new devices. We better, because they never get it good in in their first run. They had to do like one, and people start, reporting and asking for features and everything, and they might get it in the second, and or might they might push it to the third.
Well, I think though that Google is kind of taking note of that, and most especially with the focus on accessibility of recent. I believe that that watch would be accessible out of the box. But you know me, I'm the daredevil, and I want to be in on the party. So definitely, my name is written down in
Well,
the column of those.
you
It's
live in, you're lucky you live in a place that you can, if I didn't like it, it's getting back home.
it's
I
well
think
known
we're
that
like a
Warren is the Google's guinea pig on the
Yeah,
website.
exactly. I got
he's the
my
first on the
Pixel.
pre-order list. Like, oh, that's my name there. Yeah.
So frankly, I'm really looking forward to it, and I can't wait to get that watch. I mean, I got the Samsung watch for the first time um, when that Galaxy Watch 4 came out. Of course, the problem was that I got the girly one. I had to give that to my wife. I'm like, I don't like this, too small. I should have gotten the bigger one. But now that gives me an opportunity to get the Pixel one. Now, since she has that,
I will,
it's time for the
we'll wait and
boy.
see.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I think it's going to, because like there have been a lot of watches like in the industry, and I think Google has to work hard to get something that can compete with that. So I'm actually pretty optimistic about the accessibility, because Google isn't new. They know all about accessibility, even if sometimes they could mess up. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that too.
It definitely will be very accessible, and most especially, coming with the new Wear OS or whatever and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to it. But I think the part that excites me about it all is the fact that it's going to come with, cellular connectivity. As to, hey, you want to get the Wi-Fi one or you want to get the cellular connectivity one. I think that's uh, excuse my Espanol, BS. Every watch should just come with the ability to connect right out of the box. Leave it up to the person if you want to join in the cellular network or not. Leave it to them. So for me, my watch, I want to be able to leave the damn phone at home and take my watch with me wherever I go. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I think that's what excites me about this watch.
But I don't think as like a watch is actually built for like it's built as a secondary device, not like a primary one. So you know, I I kind of agree with you, but also like it's supposed to be a secondary device, so for it to have a cellular connection or like um things of that sort, is like for them to have Wi-Fi, that's definitely necessary. But cellular connection, it's not that important personally for me.
Yeah, so but my argument is if I already have my phone, I don't need to be using my watch to look at my notification. And most especially for me as a blind
That's
person,
the whole
is it
idea.
easier for me to look at my notification on my watch and interact with that, or is it easier for me to do it on the watch?
Well, yeah, I think the experience is different because, like, for me, I would be like in a place where I have my phone in my purse and I'm wearing my watch, so that's why I just don't need to get the phone out. So that's why it's kind of different
Yeah,
here.
and
So
there's so much you can do with the phone, with the watch. I
yeah,
have a watch here, and frankly, the only time that I take it with me is if I'm like maybe doing something in the kitchen and my hands are full or whatever. But even so, usually I just have my headset on, connected via Bluetooth to my phone, so that if a call comes in, I just hit the button to answer that call or whatever. And then if I want to send a message, I just hit that assistant button and just dictate a voice message or um, text message using my voice and all of that. So in reality, for me, uh, I'm not going to get a watch that is on Wi-Fi only. If I'm going to get a watch, it's going to have that cellular connectivity, and that's my kind of watch. And I know,
But be
yeah,
careful for what you wish for, Warren, because 4G and well, that's LTE and 5G networks. If the watch equipped with that capability, you and I and many other people know, with places not so bad signal. If the signal in the middle, around the middle, those devices tend to like draw much resources, and the device gets a little warm. So I don't think it would you'd like the overall performance of them watches.
in other
I
words,
think
I don't want to get roasted, right?
yeah. If you have those not roasted, they'd warm. The small devices, if they have cell capability, they get warm. If it's a bad signal, they get warm and they drain the battery real quick. If it's
Yeah.
in the middle, like up and down, or switch, if it switches between this and that, man, oh man,
Yeah,
I wouldn't wish
but
that for
you,
my
you still
for
have
my
me.
bike.
You
You
have me
better check
down.
it and let us.
You have me down for it. I definitely will be getting one because you know me. I
Yeah,
have to.
yeah,
I have to.
I've taken my Apple Watch places without my phone. It
yeah.
hasn't
I,
warmed up. So
I gotta
Exactly.
take this call. I'm sorry. I step aside a little bit.
Okay.
I just stopped wearing it because my wrists started getting irritated. And stuff.
Like,
I think
so I look at my watch and I would actually rather not have the cellular capabilities, because even when I'm currently taking a call on it, I notice the battery consumption is absolutely insane. Like, it will drain the battery so quickly. So, like, my concern would be basically how fast that battery will die if you're using nothing but cellular connectivity.
Yeah, but you can turn it off when you don't need to. It's not a static thing to where you can't turn it off. So if it's just like on my phone. If I decide to turn off my, data, I could turn it off. So the same idea.
Yeah, but we also know that not everybody's going to do that. So I'd be the one who'd be less likely to go and turn that off and on and off repeatedly, knowing that that's also going to impact the battery performance. So I think unless we get a larger battery, which we're hopefully going to see within the Samsung's release, I don't know that the cellular connectivity is necessarily the best option. I think it's a great option to have, but I think if we keep the devices coming out with cellular and Bluetooth, if we have Google devices coming out with a cellular device and a Bluetooth wireless, I honestly think they're going to see a lot more sales coming out of that than if they just have the cellular.
You're not compelled to turn on the cellular part of it. I think that's the part that we're missing here. You can enable the cellular if you want to, or don't enable the cellular if you don't want to. So there's
it
nothing
would be
here to
nice if
lose.
they could sell it for the same price, but
Exactly.
the thing is, they're going to charge more for it if they all have cellular.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
There's
was
gonna
going
be
to say
as a
that as
component.
well. Yeah, they're going to charge more if it's got all the capabilities.
So
and I
my
know
max would
if
be
you're on a
500. My
budget,
budget for it is $500. If it's going to be more than $500, I'm not going to get it.
Oh, it
yeah,
won't.
but
I
some
don't think it'll
people
be more than 500.
don't have that much money though, and Also, the other problem with cellular, my watch isn't an Android one. I did have a Galaxy watch, but eventually it got so hot that it was almost burning my wrist, and I thought, "Oh, this is dangerous. I can't wear this anymore," which was a shame. So I've got an Apple Watch now, but neither of those were had the cellular option. 2 reasons. One, the cellular versions cost more, and it was significantly more. And also, I knew I wasn't going to bother using them because I'd have to pay a monthly tariff for the watch as well as the phone. And I wasn't prepared to do that. So
Yeah,
I just got
exactly.
the
It's
cellular.
usually like
I
an
just got
extra
the
$10 a month here for that.
Yeah, but
in some
like again,
tariffs,
though,
and in other tariffs
you
it's
have to
more.
be able to choose that or not. No
Yeah, but
one is going to
I
force
chose
on
not.
you that, hey, you need to have access. You don't have to.
Yeah, I know, but you might not be able to afford the watch at all if you only get the cellular version. That's what
How
I'm
much did you
saying.
get your Apple Watch for?
£270, I think.
You know how much that is in dollars? That's over $300.
I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
So right now, to give you an idea, in Canada, I saw the Apple Watch Gen 7 for close to $700 for the Bluetooth edition.
Exactly.
Oh no,
So-
this was the SE version, so this was
Yeah.
the cheaper one.
The
Oh,
SE is
the
still going
SE
for
version is even the
400 here.
cheapest one of them all, but I mean, here in the States, most of the Fruitvale watches, $300, $400.
I only got the SE because that was the only one affordable to me, and only the wireless one. And people do have to consider budgets. It's all right if you've got enough money to pay to have the choice, but some people just haven't.
Speaking of budgets, I think in my eyes, the bigger news is the Pixel 6a, because they're going to be bringing now to that mid-range price tier, you're going to be getting a flagship processor in that. And that's the first time you'll be able to get a Pixel 6a phone or a Pixel A phone with the same processor as like the really expensive. Literally, it costs twice as much money for a Pixel 6 Pro as it's going to cost for a Pixel 6a, and you'll be getting the same processor in it, which I think is going to be great.
I'm excited about the 6A as well. I think it's a good thing that Google is keeping the same price as we did have for the Pixel 5A, at $449. That's a good price, and I'm looking forward to it. I would be getting one to unbox it here for our listeners, just for giggles. So put my name down. I'll be waiting on that 21st of July. But I'm excited about it, and hopefully this fingerprint reader that they're saying is going to be something different will truly be something different, because that's one of the weaknesses of the Pixel 6. The fingerprint reader was just it's not bueno. Excuse my Espanol there, but absolutely it's no bueno. And if we have a better fingerprint reader with the Pixel 6a, I think a lot of people will get it. But the good news is that the Pixel 6 or Pixel 6 series, sold more than both the Pixel 5 and Pixel 5a or whatever combined, or whatever. That's what they are saying. I don't remember which of those. So the phone really sold well for Google. And if that track record keeps going on, I see more and more people will be getting the Pixel 6a, most especially now that it's even going to be open for places that didn't have it before, like India. Will have access to that, and I think that's a good thing that Google is opening it up to more markets.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to get the 6A, but I don't know why it does not come to India. Why Google does not bring Pixel 5A? It didn't come to India, so I hope the 6A come. Even the 6 didn't come to India.
Well, the 5A was only for 2 countries, US and Japan. That's all you can get it from. But I think that Google wants to give you yesterday's wine. So you guys are not going to get it right away till sometime this year. But the most important thing is that it's coming, isn't it? Unlike the 5A that's not there, at least the 6A is going to be there. And my guess is that they probably will roll it out to you guys when the Pixel 7 series rolls out in the fall.
But that's too
So what's
late.
the difference? What's the difference
Like,
between a
okay.
6 and a 6A then? Does it not have as good a camera, or is it more plasticky?
Yeah, it has less quality. It has the same cameras basically that are on like the Pixel 5a, so it's not going to have the new fancy cameras that are on the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, and it's a little bit smaller. The display refresh rate is lower. It doesn't have wireless charging. Just basically the typical differences between like your $900 phone or your $700 phones and your $400 phones, just the bells and whistles. But it's got the same processor, so it's going to be able to run just as smoothly, which I think is great.
So it's more like the difference between the S22 and the S22 Fe, or like the S21, S21 Fe from Samsung. I think that's what they want to do.
Although the FE, the S20 FEs is I've got, and it does do wireless charging, and I do like that. I love wireless charging. It's so easy.
I think the best comparison is like the iPhone SE, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, because that has the same processor as like the iPhone 13.
But even the SE has wireless charging, though.
Yeah.
So that's a bit rubbish if the 6A isn't going to have that.
Well, the whole idea is trying to cut down the price. You were talking about price here a little while ago. So if you're going to make it available to people and yet give them that goodness of the Pixel 6 series, then you have to cut corners somewhere. And so that's why it's only coming with a 60 hertz refresh. The back is not going to be some kind of a plastic, the sides are going to be some kind of a metallic, whatever, but the back is not glass. And then the front part of the phone is Gorilla Glass 3. It's not Gorilla Glass 5. So those are some of the compromises, and it's going to be coming with the camera that we saw back in Pixel 2 series that continues up to Pixel 5a. So it's not going to have the newer cameras that modules that we have in the regular Pixel 6. So you got to cut corners there and bring the price down. And
and the thing
part
is,
that I don't like is not why they take away the headphone jack. That's stupid.
Yeah, but that was it. That's 2 years ago's news, Warren.
Yeah, and why did they take away the fingerprint reader on the back as well?
Exactly. I agree with you. There was no need to put that fingerprint in the glass, but I guess they want to make people feel that I'm really having a Pixel 6, and so we put it in there. But I tell you what, I will take reliability over nonsense.
Samsung have done that as well. They've moved the fingerprint reader from the back to the front as well into the glass.
Yeah,
that's
you
true.
do get used to it, but it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, but the thing is that the capacitive fingerprint readers are faster than any of these, unless you get the ultrasonic ones like the flagship ones on Samsung, which Google should have used instead of this, optical one that we have.
I've always had trouble unlocking, not unlocking with the back fingerprint, because I use my thumb to unlock it, and it misses some of the time a lot. So on the front, it might be a little bit easier, at least for me to unlock it, I would think.
Well, you should. If you were using a back fingerprint reader, you're supposed to use your index finger to unlock it.
I have to say, I quite like it on the front, though, actually. Even though you can't feel where it is, once you're used to it, I do like it. Because you don't have to... Because when I'm unlocking my S9, where I've got a lot of my WhatsApp messages, I always have to lift up the phone off the table first to unlock it, and that's annoying.
Yeah, that's true. Like, I usually have my phone on the nightstand and my earbuds. I wear them and I just unlock the phone on there, and I do what I want. And just I feel like after getting used to it, it becomes pretty cool. Like, I love the front one more. It's actually much faster than the back one, I think.
Let's talk back. I'll tell you where the sensor is, at least on the Pixel 6. So
so like on Samsung, it'll tell you where it is when you're setting it up, but then it won't.
Yeah, but it vibrates. Like, it gives you haptic feedback when you touch it, even if it's not the right fingerprint. So it tells you the phone is just.
When I tried mine, it gives me like haptic feedback when it failed, but when it actually unlocked, it didn't give me any haptic feedback, I don't think.
Yeah, mine does actually every time.
Oh,
Yeah, so it will be there. It'll be in the front, and of course, I like my fingerprint in the front, but I also like those that have it in the back. I don't care whichever one. I think for me, I just want it to be, something that works all the time. Reliably. Every time that I put my finger down there, I want it to just poop. There we go. I don't want a second try. I mean, so far though, I've been lucky with my Pixel 6 Pro, but there are times that I have to do it twice, and some people don't have that patience. So we need to have something that's reliable.